Hello, you guys, and thank y'all for tuning in to this week's episode of Talk About It Thursday here on the Journey Podcast, where I am your host, Kiera. Happy New Year, you all. I am so sorry for the episodes that have been missed. We did have a couple of delays, a couple of technical difficulties that hopefully now are fixed. Um, am so excited that we're in a new year, 2026. I'm excited to hear about some of the goals that some people that have shared with me. I'm so excited about all the things. Are you guys doing like New Year, res, New Year resolutions? I do not like when people say Happy New Year's like with an S. Because what is 1 year? Happy New Year. Okay? And it's a New Year's resolution because the apostrophe S is there because the resolution is belonging to the new year. So that's why, but yeah, we know I'm getting to that. But please stop saying New Year's. It's 1 year. Happy New Year. Yay. Okay, we're past that. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and jump into this week's episode of Talk About It Thursday. We are talking about today, guys. One of the hardest things for me to do, as you all know, my new year started on my birthday, October 27th, and so I've been just in my, for those that are new, we're in a season of rebranding here. Those that have already been here, we're talking about rebranding and just kind of getting through the journey. We're not staying stagnant anywhere at any point in this journey. So grateful to God for to keep it moving, partner. Yeah. So one of the hardest things for me for sure in this season has definitely been setting boundaries. Why do I say that that's been hard? That's definitely been the hardest thing, but it's been hard because I used to did not have boundaries. And believe it or not, a lot of people don't have boundaries, and that's why a lot of the time we just kind of um keep going through the same cycles because we don't set those boundaries and um we don't give ourselves that opportunity to grow by actually coming to a conclusion that we do need to set boundaries. So first things first, I'm gonna start off with a little definition for you guys. What is boundaries? Boundaries are personal limits and rules that define what's acceptable for you in relationships, protecting your physical, emotional, and mental well being by setting expectations for how you want to be treated and what you'll allow. I really like that definition, and I think I'm gonna go with that because, in my own words, it's just basically me allowing others outside of myself to know what is acceptable behavior, what I'm willing to accept. Um, Another thing, well, we're gonna get into that part at the end. Yeah, we can get into that. Okay. Um, and so boundaries are like invisible fences. So clarifying your needs for space, time, emotional support, and respect, helping you feel safe and fostering healthier interactions by communicating what is okay and what isn't okay, often with clear actions when they're crossed. So when you set these boundaries, you have to when you tell somebody, "Hey, I'm not willing to accept such and such," and then they say, "Well, I apologize for doing that. I didn't know that you didn't like that," and then and then your response is, "Oh no, that's okay. No, it's not okay. Let's stop saying that." I think I talked about that before. It's not okay so don't say that. Don't let that be your response to "I'm sorry." I'm sorry, and in your mind be like, "Yeah, don't let that happen again," but don't say that out loud. Just be like, "I accept your apology," or "Thank you for apologizing." But saying that's okay is not okay because now you're telling them that it's okay that you did that. Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. That's not okay. So we're not saying that. So we're gonna learn to stop responding with "that's okay" when someone apologizes for overstepping a boundary. Also, I wanted to say um, that I wanted to give examples of some of the most frequent ones that I find myself encountering a lot. Um, Boundaries with my time. I If I love you, if I care about you, there's no boundary in my time, and then I find myself suffering. Excuse me, I had a ginger ale, y'all. I find myself suffering because I give all my time to others, and so I don't have the time that I need for myself, for my household, and so forth and so on. And those things are what's most important. Your household is more important than anything outside of it. What comes from you is more important, and you are more important than anything outside of you. And so I would stretch myself thin, not just for like other people, like for friends and family members, but for my kids too. I had to set boundaries where I was not just endlessly running around like a chicken with my head cut off to please them, and finding myself with no energy to do the things that I needed to do for myself. So sometimes those boundaries have to be set, not just with, you know, with friends and other people like coworkers or whatever the case may be, but with the kids too. You have to set those boundaries with your children, with your time, with your finances, with just everything. You have to make those boundaries. And so when it came to my kids, I didn't have boundaries with my time. I would just run wherever they wanted me to take them. I would be there. I didn't know how to say no. And so I had to learn that, and I'm having to learn that. I'm still growing in that area, but rebranding means focus. And so you can't pour into everyone and still build something new for yourself, because you don't have time to. You've spent all your time, all your energy on other things and other people outside of yourself. And so the growth that you were trying to focus on, you didn't even get to you didn't even get to touch on that. So the boundary is saying no without guilt. And so I would feel bad for telling my kids, no, I don't, mommy doesn't want to do that. I don't feel like doing that. That's not something that I had time to do. I didn't have that on my schedule to do. If you guys are following me on Instagram, something that I wrote on the board is, if they don't let me know in advance, so that I can plan for their plans, then the answer is no. And so I'm learning to say no without feeling guilty. My kids, I could say, like, my loved ones. I don't like to tell my loved ones I can't show up for them. And so I had to realize that sometimes not being able to tell them no, I can't show up for them, is me telling myself that I can't show up for me. And I had to say, like, no, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm digging a hole for myself, trying to build a mountain for you. And that's not okay. Um, so the boundary is saying no without guilt, and your why is your vision needs room to breathe. And so you need time. You need time to grow. You need room to grow, and you can't if you're stretching yourself thin for others all the time. Um, my second one is access. So I had to set a boundary of not allowing everyone to have access to me. And this is another thing that I taught to my kids about. You don't have to be so easily accessible. It's okay to be exclusive. It's okay to not be at every single event that is taking place. You don't have to, just because somebody's having a party, don't mean you got to be there. It don't mean that. Just because the this is going on every weekend, such and such want to go hang out every Tuesday, every Wednesday, such and such want to catch happy hour. When you have things to do, and then that's where that time boundary comes in. But also, everybody does not deserve access to you. So um when you are trying to separate yourself from certain people that do certain things that only see you how they saw you, and so forth and so on. Sometimes you have to, and we talk about this a lot, sometimes you have to either limit or deny that access that they have to you, because it's still contaminating you with the things from the past. And so as you're trying to move forward, it's kind of hard to move forward when you're doing things and you're still entertaining things and people that no longer that have served their purpose. Their time is no, like either it's time for a pause till you gain that what is the word that I want to say? To you, I guess I can just say until you gain the ability to not be sucked into that, that cycle of gossiping, or that cycle of just bad habits that, that they trigger. And so, limiting emotional access is definitely important, because here you are, you're like, oh, they don't have anybody else to drink with, or oh, they don't have anybody else to do whatever it is that we were doing with. And so it's like, you have to, sometimes you'll have a soft spot for people, certain people, they just get you, like, oh man, I can't let such and such down. And that's like me with my kids. Like, of course I have a soft spot for them. I love them endlessly. And that doesn't mean because I'm limiting their access to me sometimes. I'm not away from them or whatever, but like, no. Sometimes mommy needs mommy time, and I have to like my recording time. I had to learn to tell them, okay, guys, y'all gotta go in y'all room or whatever, or go do your thing so mommy can have her time to herself. And this is, like I said, it's therapeutic for me. So I'm at therapy right now, you know? And so it's just like sometimes limiting access does not mean like just cutting everybody off, because like I said, I don't cut my kids off, but I definitely have to set a boundary where, okay, guys, mommy needs this space and this time to herself so that I can do the things that I want to do for me. And that's okay. It's okay to do that. It's okay to say, hey, you know what? Mm-mm. Just because you're awake doesn't mean you have to be in my face. Or, just because you're going out doesn't mean I have to be there with you. So growth requires protection and not constant availability. You don't have to always be available to everyone. Sometimes you need to make sure that you are putting that time aside for yourself. And I had to learn that with my little 5 minutes of time to myself that Joe recommended. And so, um, yeah, you don't always have to be accessible to everybody. You don't have to take that time for yourself so you can think out, or you can read that book, or you can do whatever it is that you wanted to do, where normally you're running around doing things for other people, making sure you're hanging out with this person, that person, making sure you're at work, making sure you're doing everything but the things that you really, really need and want to do for yourself. And so just make sure that you don't have to always be accessible to just because you're available doesn't mean that you have to be accessible to everyone, especially those that you have that soft spot for. You have to learn to tell them, hey, I have some other things that I have to do, and then I can probably get up with you if I have time. That's okay to not have time for somebody all the time. It's okay. It's okay. And so, conversation shift, a lot. And I know all girls don't do that, but I used to have a good time sitting on the phone. Girl, let me tell you about that one right there. Girl, let me tell you about this one right there. Girl. And I had to certain conversation, or those people that call you and they're always complaining, or they're always talking about this certain person all the time, or they're always so doubtful, or they always had a bad day, or they're just always entertaining old narratives and so forth and so on. And so Also people that only see you as your past version. So people that just can't accept the fact that you are being made new and that you're talking different, you're walking different, you got a lot of other things going on that you might have not had going on before. And so I had to learn um one, to stop being accessible to those people and stop making time for those people, because I want my conversation to be different. I want to have healthy conversations. Let's talk about how we can grow. Let's talk about what your goals are, and that's not all we have to talk about. We can laugh and y'all know I love a good time on the phone, or I love a good conversation. But when the conversation is always negative, or it's always it's always complaining, or it's always just something like contaminating your mind. It's like, oh God, I don't want to talk about that. That's not what I want. I don't want to talk about that. You gotta learn to. It's okay for you to not want to have those conversations. Stop answering the phone for the girl that's always complaining. You don't have to hear that. Get that? No, I don't. No, I don't want to hear it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am not emotionally or mentally available to have this conversation. Please leave a message after the beep. That was loud. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let those people leave a message. And as soon as they say, girl, or oh man, as soon as they make that heavy breathing, I saw it. I saw a Kevin Gates interview where he was like, he was talking about the same thing. He was like, when that person gets on the phone, they're like, you just know they about to talk about some foolishness. And so as soon as they hit that deep breath, let me call you right back. I'm gonna call you right back. You have to do that to some people because nobody want. I know you about to complain. Just the deep sigh. I hope, and you know what? I'm making it a habit of those people that I love, and it's just so hard to just like not listen and like not talk to them and be there for them. I let them have their moment, and then I say, what happened that was good today for you? And then the least that they can say is, well, I woke up today. Well, that's good. I'm so happy that you woke up. What else happened? What happened after you woke up? Were you able to use your legs? Were you able to see? Were you able to talk? Were you able to hear? What else happened good for you today? Can nothing outside of you be positive? You mean to tell me nothing good happens for you? Never have a good day? That worries me. That worries me. Um that makes me not want to be, or like, that might be contagious. You know? We ain't doing that. We ain't doing contamination. Yeah, we can move on from that one. Um, and so rebranding comes with higher expectations of yourself and others, and so your standards rise. So you learn to not tolerate certain things with people, and it's like while you might have stayed, in that friendship or that relationship for years, tolerating certain actions or them people talking to you a certain way or whatever the case may be, when you encounter new people after, you go ahead and do away with those people that are no longer serving the purpose anymore. You do away with them, and then you start seeing these familiar spirits, in the form of other people, and they come around trying to attach themselves with you. The minute you see these red flags, nope, not dealing with it, and you gotta hurry up and no, that boundary is there. I am not allowing people that are always in some kind of drama, or just always got some foolishness going on, or always just negative. I'm not allowing new people around me to bring that old stuff around me. No, we're not doing that. So it's like you learn to, when you set in these boundaries, you no longer negotiate your worth. You're not arguing with people about what you're worth anymore. You're not arguing with people about what you deserve. You said what you said, and that's it. Hey, this is what I like and this is what I don't like. The minute you show me that you are disregarding my requests, my what I or you arguing with me about the fact that, oh, well, you used to like, I, didn't I tell you I was doing something different? Don't tell me what I used to do. I don't care about that. I don't do it no more. It's done. It's over with. I don't do that no more. I don't entertain that no more. I'm sorry. Not sorry. And so you want to make sure that you're setting those boundaries with people, but you want to make sure that the people that you continue to keep and allow around you, that they're respectful of the fact that you do want to be better and that you are working on yourself and that you are evolving and those changes are happening right before their eyes. And some people are not going to be able to see or accept the fact that you're changing, and that's okay. Because they don't have to. Because guess what? You are in control of what you allow. You're in control of who you accept around you. You don't have to be around those people that you're around for all your life or 10, 15, 20, 30 years. You don't have to be around them. You can say, you know what? I see that you don't respect my boundaries. I see that you don't respect my evolution. You don't expect this series of rebranding. I see that you cannot let go of who I was and accept me for who I'm becoming and who I am. And I'm just, goodbye. No, it's not easy. Easier said than done. I know for sure. I know that. I know that that is easier said than done. But do you want better for you? That comes with leaving a lot behind. That comes with letting go of a lot of things. If you want something new, you can't keep doing the old same old things. You gotta let some things go. You gotta let some people go, and that's what comes with it. Not everybody's gonna accept the fact that you're evolving. Not everybody's gonna clap for you in your evolution. Nobody, and not all the time. You're not gonna get that, and you have to be okay with that. When you when you vow to start over, you vow to rebrand yourself. When you vow to evolve, change, and grow, um, you have to be accepting of the fact that a lot of people are not going to be okay with that. Some of your favorite people are not going to be okay with that. And you have to be okay with the fact that they're not okay with that. And you have to find it in your heart to move on and not tolerate those things just because of who they are. Because those very things, you making exceptions for certain people because you have that soft spot for them, is what's gonna be the the reason why you're stagnant. It's gonna be the reason why you can't truly move forward and you can't truly grow, because you're not willing to let go of the things that are no longer serving a purpose in your life. And um yeah, people are going to get uncomfortable. They're going to be uncomfortable. Heck, you're uncomfortable. You're doing something new. And so you can't entertain the fact that they're not okay with that. Oh, they don't like the new me. Oh, okay. All right. You know, like, I love who I'm becoming. Thank you for showing me that you can't come on this journey with me. I'm so sorry that it had to be like this, but it is what it is. Um and I'm choosing me. Yes. Guys, I'm reading this book that I got for my birthday. It's called The Year of Yes. I'm learning in reading this that you saying yes to you is going to be you saying no to a lot of people. And that, y'all know my favorite thing to say. That is okay. You don't, yeah, I say yes to the future that I want for myself and my children. I say yes to that, even if that means no to someone else. I can't say yes all the time to your wants and your needs and your, I can't, because I'm trying to say yes to me all the time, and and I value me. I'm learning to value me, and I love that for me. Um, in this time, people are gonna misunderstand. Oh, all she thinks about is herself. Yes, for a long time, I did not think about myself. For a long time, I didn't even consider myself. For a long time, I would go to the drive-through, get my kids something to eat, and don't get nothing for myself. So yes, I'm doing something for myself. Yes, you can take my order. I'm ordering it for me. And so in that time you can find yourself being lonely, but I feel like God um always puts people in your life that that you need. You know, like I said before in a previous episode, on your journey, God gives you all the tools that you need just to be successful um in this next step for you. And so while at first you might feel lonely, you might feel guilty for choosing yourself because you've never done it before. It's new. And it's okay. That part is going to pass. And excuse me, you're going to be happy that you chose yourself. You're going to be grateful that you're like, man, why didn't I do this sooner? And don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to you. You didn't do it sooner because you didn't know sooner. And so as you're knowing and you're growing, you just, take those things. Take those, and God's timing is perfect all the time. And you didn't know sooner because a lot of things that you needed to know in knowing this, you didn't know at that time, and that's okay. Your timeline and my timeline don't have to be the same. It doesn't have to be the same. So, all in all, I wanted to really say that boundaries are not pushing people away. It's more so protecting what you're building. So here you are, you're building this. Oh, we got a little example time. You're building this thing with a deck of cards, and the wind is blowing. So of course you're gonna shield what you're creating. You're gonna shield what you're building, so that the wind doesn't blow it down. Because when the wind blows it down, what you gotta do? I gotta start over. I'm not gonna keep starting over because an outside force is forcing me down. Not when I have the ability to keep this thing up. You mean to tell all I gotta do is turn my back? All I gotta do, what? I could be a basketball player for real because I've got skills with the blocking. Yeah, what? Stop. Move. Yeah, please, child. I'm professional, okay? I am a professional blocker. Mm-hmm. I block things that try to tear down what I'm building. Um, um, yeah, I like it. I like it. I just hope that, um, I just hope that you guys are standing firm on your boundaries. And guys, this is what I really wanted to say. As we set boundaries, for what we're willing to accept from others, set boundaries for yourself. No, I'm not staying up past my bedtime because I know when I do this to myself, it's hard for me to wake up in the morning. I'm having a rough morning. Set those boundaries for yourself and your finances. I'm not gonna go and spend money on um God knows what when I know I have other things to do. I have things that are really important that are demanding of my finances right now. And so set those boundaries with yourself, the financial boundaries, emotional boundaries, physical boundaries. Make sure you're getting enough rest. Make sure you're being good to you. Because if you're not being good to you, how do you expect others outside of you to be good to you? People kind of see how you are, and they're like, "Wow, okay, well, you won't care about yourself. I'm not about to care about you either, child. Please." But when they see you valuing your time, they see you respecting your time, they're gonna respect your time. Oh, she don't play. She run a tight ship when it comes to, she says it's time for her to eat lunch at this time. She makes sure she's reading her book at this time. She sets time aside for this. She's going to the gym. She's doing that. And she is, yeah. And so you will attract people that that respect that. They look at you and they say, "Wow, she," and maybe you can be an example for them. And maybe you can be an example for some of those people that you had to cut off too, so they can see, "Wow, she was such a loser before and she didn't do anything. She was a procrastinator." And I'm talking about myself. I'm talking about myself, guys. I'm not talking about anybody. I'm talking about myself. Don't do that. And so yeah, look at her setting those boundaries for herself. Look at her sticking to her schedule, doing all the things, and being kind to others, being kind to herself. Yeah. And so, um, you will attract those people. You'll attract your people. Now, granted, when you are a ray of shining light coming from the heavens up above, because God loves you so much that you just are a light, then people that are in dark places, they are most definitely going to be drawn to the light. However, you have to make sure that you know that not all of them that are drawn to you are your assignment. The minute that you realize that they are not ready to keep it moving, that boundary needs to come up and say, hey, you know what? I notice that you would like for somebody to babysit your poor decision making, or I notice that you would like for somebody to babysit or the your toxicity, and that's not what I'm willing to do. I'm not in a place where I can afford to do that, and because of that, we're gonna create a little space, and that's okay, guys. It's okay. Sometimes people want you to be more to them than they're willing to be to themselves, and of course you have to set that boundary and say, you know what, nope, I'm working on something myself. I can't work on what I'm working on for me and help you work on you. I can give you what I can give you. That's some good advice and some prayers. I love you, God loves you, and we got to keep it moving because I'm working on so much for me. I can't afford to stay stagnant with you, unfortunately. Now, if you are willing to keep on rolling, let's go. Let's go. But if not, unfortunately, I can't that's not something that I can afford to do. That is me setting little boundaries. I'm excited, girl. But guys, I'm working on so much for the podcast. I'm super excited about all that's coming. Um I'm working on like weekly affirmations, and I want to be sharing those with you guys starting probably next week. And I say weekly because I feel like if you focus on something for a week of time versus like daily, and you just keep changing, I feel like you creating that, you saying that affirmation for a week kind of engraves it in your heart and in your mind. And so I like the weekly affirmations. And so, yeah. Make sure if you're not already following me on social media that you do add me on Instagram at KISSUM. Oh, no, sorry. X dot underscore KISSUM. If that's not it, I'm gonna put it on the bottom of the video for y'all. So if you're not following me, and you want to see some of the little content that I do, please go and follow me. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel if you're not already. I love y'all with my whole heart. Happy New Year again to you guys. I hope it's been delightful for you all. It's been pretty good for me. A lot of things are going on, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so I'm grateful to God for all that, all that, all that. And yeah, I'll see you guys on Sunday for sure. Okay? Love y'all. Enjoy the rest of your week. Later.